What is up, buds? Welcome to Weed&d, the hot positive live tabletop role-playing experience. I am your dungeon master for the night, Brandon Allen McClanahan, but my buds call me Bam. Holy crap, what a blast we had last week, guys. Honestly, I just have to take a sec. Shout out all these wonderful other creators in the D&D space that have been showing us so much love. We got a bunch of raids last week. Huge shout outs to our friends Perception Studios, brought over a massive one. Level 1 adventures. Man, it was freaking amazing. It's just such a cool thing. Again, as part of this whole Twitch community, like we keep reaching out to each other, and like all these freaking D&D Twitch creators that I've ran into so far are just truly incredible people. So support them, help us, thank them for supporting us, give them a follow, show them some love when you can, like their stuff on the social medias and stuff. We're all just trying to help each other find our audience, you know what I mean? So even if our show's not for you, or if their show's not for you, maybe you can help somebody find it that will love it. So big shout out again just to all these wonderful Twitch creators and stuff. They kind of a cool update coming up soon. A few of them have reached out to me about doing some appearances on their various shows. Kind of keep an eye on the socials for the exact dates, because these things tend to be a little liquid until they happen. But I am going to be doing a DM discussion with the Nerdy Northerners channel. We're going to talk a little bit about like cannabis and alcohol in gaming, and kind of the pros and cons, and some of my thoughts on that subject, as well as just talk some DM shop, which should be pretty awesome. Our friends over at Blackwater D&D, one of our oldest friends from all this, I mean, we freaking love our Blackwater peeps, have invited me to come and do a DM round table game with them, where it'll be several dungeon masters, and we'll rotate who's DMing the game based on like tips or a certain amount of time, or every time somebody rolls a 1. So it sounds like a freaking party and a half. I'm so excited to do it. Thanks to our Blackwater peeps for thinking of me. And then I think in July, it sounds like we're again, all this stuff stays liquid until it happens. But Dork Tales, our dear friends over at Dork Tales, Kelly is one of my favorite game masters online right now. Reached out and wants me to come play on one of their games. So that'll be happening, I think, like I said, in July sometime. But yeah, dudes, if you run a show or if you have anything, reach out to us, man. Like I'm a theater person at my core. I've done theater my entire life, and it's what I do for a living. So it's this kind of collaboration stuff is really keen on what makes me want to do all this stuff. So thanks to everybody for reaching out. Thanks to all our wonderful buds, dude. Chat, it's just I get it all the time. Everybody's just like, dude, chat's a blast. Chat is a blast. If you're watching this on YouTube, come over to Twitch, join us live sometime. The bud chat is blowing up. And man, I have to go back through and review the episodes, and I am in tears several times. You guys are some of the funniest motherfuckers, and thanks so much for coming and making our chat so funny. It has just been a treat. We are on our 50th Sesh, buds. Tonight is Sesh 5-0. And to kind of pay back all the, little wonderful, the best, obviously we're all broke artists in a world that's shut down, but we're going to be offering a $25 Amazon gift card tonight. Just a little bit of a thank you for all the wonderful support that we've gotten. Type hashtag WeeDnD into chat to be eligible for that. Unlike most of our giveaways, you do have to be present at the end of the session when we do the drawing to win. So yeah, little Amazon cashy, little splashy cash. Buy yourself something nice. Holy crap, dudes. That is certainly more than enough for me. I will be talking plenty. I want to play Dungeons and Dragons with my friends and get high while we do it. And in order to do so, I got to pass this magic joint here through the fibers of the interwebs to my dear and wonderful friend, Brenna Folger. Hey, Brenna, how you doing, girl?
Got it. Got your greens. What's up, buds? Prince Bruno the Serpent here, also known as Brenna Folger, and my favorite cheese is brie. How about you, Abby? What's up? What's your favorite cheese?
Oh my goodness. I think I have to say just good old classic American plastic cheese, the slices. Oh my gosh, put that in some mac and cheese. Like I'm good to go. Also, Abby Dandy. And I'm really happy to be here. I can't believe 50 sessions, you guys. It's crazy. Time flies. But you know what? I'm having the frickin' best time ever. Same question about the cheese, Drewby. What about you?
Oh, thank you, baby. All-American girl down there. What's up, y'all? Drew, Thorcus, Mountain Dwarf Extraordinaire, level 9 Battle Master. My favorite kind of cheese is whichever one won't give me diarrhea. So...
It changes.
Maybe that was too much to share, but, I feel like we're getting there, buds.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know a little bit more about me. Maybe more than you wanted to, but that's what it takes to be my friend. Isn't that right, best friend, who leaves this thing on all the time? I'm gonna airdrop this to you there, bud. Ready, 1, 2, 3, go.
Thanks, best friend.
Oh,
I leave it
nice.
on because I care. I love you. I love you, buds. I love all of you. Welcome back to Weed&d. Whether it's your first time or your 50th, we're just glad you're here. Jake Taylor here once again as Rial Oppervine, the level 9 High Elf Rogue Arcane Trickster. I don't know what his favorite cheese is. I'm gonna give a vote to Pepperjack. What you got, Gus?
You're muted, brother.
Oh, there was cheese stuck in the machine. Thank you, Jake. It's your boy Gus, Two Blunt Langley. And, yo, Shadow Wizard. I like the worst kind of cheese for you. It comes in a can. Back to you, Bam.
All right, look at that. Look at that. Turns from a joint to a pipe to whatever, and then it makes it back. The internet is a magical place, guys. It's just a magical thing. All right, guys. Well, my favorite cheese is also brie, and I'm furious at Brenna for stealing it from me. She must have read it on my notes. Anyway, to get us started off here, guys, we got a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't, but we like to take a lighter, like this guy right here. Make sure we're not going to light any of our friends, family, or household pets on fire, and go. Lighters up. Let's play some fucking D&D, guys. Number 50.
WeeDnD, high fantasy, literally for you and me. So load up bowl and make a roll to take control. WeeDnD.
Ooh, that is right. Oh my gosh, guys. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Let's do it. All right, if you will please allow me, for the 50th time, to set the mood. I still think that joke's funny. When last we left the Ferocious Five, they continued their battle in the ruins of a temple built for the Kobold God Kurtulmak, as Rial tried to deduce the nature of the scepter he had stolen and how it might affect the statue of the Kobold God. Tina used her powerful holy might to turn away a second bone dragon brought into the fray by its magics. Thoricus continued his ferocious assault, killing a half dozen that dared stand in his path, whilst Brunor worked to befriend one of the winged Urks, before eviscerating several kobolds of her own. Divot challenged the great bone dragon, drawing its ire away from Rial and focusing it solely on he as he polymorphed into the fearsome D-Rex. Rial, seeing little alternative, acted on his instincts and used his invisible mage hand to plunge the scepter into the lightning, capturing the energy, and plunged it into the hole where the lightning poured from at the base of the statue, which then filled with terrible crackling energy. Learning from the Urk that she had befriended, Brunor offered all the gold in the plate of the statue of the feet of the god to calm it, and Rial in turn. But the greediness of Kurtulmak has yet to be satiated. All right, guys, we jump back in. You stand in the life-blighted valley, still on the stone ruins of the excavated temple that stands atop where you believe the den of Harnax to be found. Around you, scattered around the life-drained brown earth that melts like ash beneath your feet as you step on it, are several of these these black dragon skeletons smeared and covered with this strange tar from the river that surrounds the entire valley. You know, when last we left you guys, Divot, you were staring down the hole of this well beyond the purple and black swelling magic that covers the hole leading down into the earth, and you caught eyes with a fearsome-looking creature, a bodak. You look down, Divot, your long Tyrannosaurus snout kind of peering, wise enough not to put your nose beyond the purple magic, after learning that it has a blindness spell attached to it. You look down into the den, and you see the faint candlelight, again 50 feet below, just the orange glow of several candles flickering in this dark space beneath the earth. You make out a gilded, cracked marble floor, seemingly with stretches of gold leafing throughout it. But currently you're looking at a swell of shadow from which a face has just emerged. From where its nose would be down to its jaw, stretched down about 1.5 feet, is this long, gaping, crooked mouth of this terrifying nightmare creature. His skin, the color of ash. What little skin that he has that stretches over this strange, hard-lined jawbone and sunken-in black eyes that seem to have no end. You see stretched, leathery gray skin splitting at certain points across his humanoid body, but he's kind of hunched over and he has this great big rounded back. It looks like he's got kind of tatters of a robe that meld in between the shadow and his form as he looks up at you. Again, the pit of his eyes sunken into his face. It has no I'm sorry. It has no there's no eyes actually set into the holes. And so you just see this endless black void. And again, Divot, someone pretty familiar with staring into black voids, this one makes even you uncomfortable. You feel this kind of tingling in the back of your bones, as if there's some kind of magic in the stare of this creature. That magic, however, is contained for the moment. You kind of look up, your large Tyrannosaurus body. Again, Divot, you're still mostly Tyrannosaurus Rex. Even your mental state right now, there's flashes of Divot in there, but for the most part, you're this giant animal creature. You raise your face up and you look at this menacing bone dragon, 10 feet wide, 10 feet long. Its body basically a collection of this thick, resiny tar and oil that holds these little fractured pieces of bone together. It's basically flying just above that little purple shadow, and you and it are kind of locked in this really intense stare-off. You shift your head to the side, and you see all the kobolds that you guys had watched flee to the edge of the black water. As the second eye of Kurtulmak dimmed out, and just the one blue, bright, shining eye of the statue remains. They all fled for the borderline where the black tar runs. You can smell the thick tar in the air. The whole place has a feeling of this transformative dread, this pulsing energy of old magic. And you watch as the kobolds, kind of finally claw and scrape their way as they flee from you guys to the black water, this bubbling tar. And finally you watch one of them, his claw just kind of splashes into the tar. And again, kind of like the Venom symbiote, you see this black liquid just kind of snatched to his body. You watch for a moment as his eyes shift to fear as he's pulled into the lake. And you watch as you look around, Brunor, you're standing right next to one, and you watch as is pulled into this black river. You see it bubbling, and then suddenly it's quiet. The smell of tar is still in your nose. The hole, the magic that covers it, shifting. The bone dragon even seems floating in the air, but his wings not moving. And then suddenly, you see these savage long swords covered in black tar start climbing out of the water. Brunor, you look down to your feet and you see that these strange transformed creatures start coming out at you. They look a little bit like a kobold, but they have these long pointed beaks and red eyes. Their hands kind of extend in these natural weapons that stick out from them, their tails sharp like a scorpion's. You watch as these beady little red eyes smeared with tar start multiplying in number. You only saw one kobold dragged in, but you see 4 pairs of these red beady eyes starting to grow out of the tar all around you. You back up and look on the horizon. You see they're growing out of the river all around you, even up from the valley from whence you came. You guys watch as these dozens of these creatures start emerging from the tar and closing in on your position. What do you do?
A bitch. Cool. So, let's see, I'm gonna look behind me. Is there anything on the back of this, like, the statue, the Kobold God statue?
Yes, so Brunor, you noticed that kobold, or that Urk that you had befriended, was kind of headed toward the back of this statue, and you kind of look down to just kind of check your hunch, and you see him kind of like nosing his little kobold face. You know, he's still not transformed. You see him kind of like digging his little snout in between a couple of the bricks of this ruin. You watch as his nose kind of shuffles one of the bricks out of the way, and you see a bag. You look down, you're like, you see the little shining of gold from inside of it, and you see him grab the bag, and he starts like trying to pull it out.
I help him, yeah. I run over because I'm noping out of whatever the fuck is coming out of the tar.
Yeah, Bruno, you turn around and you see, you know, kind of they're almost like waist out now. You're starting to see their weird little scorpion tails starting to come out of the tar. But again, this tar, it's heavy and thick. They're slowly looking at you. None of them speaking. You just watch as the tar just drips off of their face and body as their red beating eyes start glowing all around you. You back up. F this. You see the Urk kind of looks up at you and noticing you come down. You see he's trying to pull it. It's like stuck between the 2 rocks. He's not quite strong enough to get it down. You slide down this little 10-foot wall of ruin. You know, you're kind of an adventurer. You just grab a rock and ride it down like a skateboard to the base. You know, you're strong enough, Bruno, that you just kind of take your hands and pry the 2 ruined stones apart. And sure as shooting, sitting there is a sack of gold. You don't know how much right away. You don't really, you know, have the time to sit down and count it, but you could guess that there is at least 100 gold in this pouch.
Well, excellent. I'm taking that back over to the dish, the collection, and I want to put the rest of it in there. Just dump it in there.
All right, so Bruno, you're kind of like starting to, you know, you're sitting there dealing with the Urk. We kind of shift over to you. Tina, you're standing, you know, you actually, let's go to Thoricus. Thoricus, you're standing kind of the farthest away from the hole in this instant. You just, you know, Thora kissed the 2 electric kobolds to death, and you're leaning against the wall at the top of the stairs. You hear this same, you know, you heard them all fleeing behind you. You turn around, you're super strong. You just kind of do a quick little pull up and peek over the ridge, and you see the same. You see about, 6 pairs of these red beady eyes starting to emerge out of the mud. You look around at everywhere where this river touches along the entire outside seam of this place. You're starting to see these little bubbles, and then when the bubble pops, you see these beady 2 red eyes. And it looks like where there was 20-something kobolds when you arrived, you're starting to see closer to like 50 of these shapes in the river emerging. What do you do in this moment, Thoricus?
Well, I'm glad that I didn't go pee earlier. I was gonna, but I'm glad I didn't now. Yeah. Everyone can see that this is, well, can everyone see that this is happening?
Yes.
I don't need to communicate it to anyone and be like, yo, there's like
Yeah, we're just kind of jumping to like each of you as you do the first thing. So like, yeah, all of you guys, you all watch the kobolds run away. I would say, those of you standing deepest in the basin might not be able to make exactly it out, but Brunor shouting, you all kind of, shouting as you go about. Yeah, everybody will be aware of this.
Okay.
Yeah, when I come down and around with the plate, I definitely say to Rial, like, we've got company, and they look real scary, and I don't like it. Ting-ling-ling-ling-ling, ting.
All right, Thoricus, they're starting to move in. What are you doing?
All right, so yeah, I'm gonna run down the stairs and be like, y'all, they're closing in on us pretty quickly. We came here to get the treasure. Is like, what's up? Where's the treasure? Like, let's do this.
Thoricus,
Right.
you kind of, you start running down the steps. The old ancient ruin, the stonework is pretty, nice. Consider, as a dwarf, you admire such things. Well made, these old stone stairs that have been excavated out of this spot in the earth. As you run down, you kind of hear this like sound. You shift around and look, and again moving super slow, but now suddenly nearing the top of the steps, you see about 5 of these guys coming down after you. They move kind of slowly, but they seem to be making ground pretty quickly. You watch as one of them just drops off like this cliff here, falls onto the ground, doesn't even try to catch himself, and then begins standing back up from the ground. You also see the ones along the southern border, starting to follow suit, kind of swarming in toward the stairwell where you're standing.
Terrible. That's all bad. Guys, they're swarming. They are swarming. Tina, you've got the protection thingy still going around you. Let's group up. Let's figure out a plan quickly. We came here for the treasure. There's a lot of bad things around us. Let's put our strength and our hearts and our minds together. We'll figure something out.
Tina,
I
you
respond
see...
to Thoricus's call, and already my swirling vortex of carnivorous plants are popping up, but they're like covered in resin and stuff now. They're all like sticky, icky, but persisting through. And I close the distance between Thoricus and I take note of the situation, and I see Brunor up ahead and like ready to listen to the battle master. What's going on?
Yeah, Tina, you kind of get close. You see even though they are these like ferocious plants, they avoid your allies as they fly around. So Thoricus is standing there, and he gets kind of covered in your little holy light, and you and he are kind of standing there, looking around. You notice him look up over toward the stairs. You turn and see the same. These kind of like red, beady eyed, scorpion-tailed, sword-armed, black tar-covered kobolds are kind of starting to swarm around the edges all around you. You feel pretty safe in your, not saying you're completely safe, but you feel the bounty of Shantia in this moment, even though the world around you is terrifying and dark, and these creatures of ill intent are after you. You can't help but feel the warm sunshine in this bubble that kind of washes over you from your lady and saint, and God. Divot, you kind of, Rial, you see Brunor kind of coming around, shouting at you of the company to come, as you notice Tina and Thoricus coming in from the west side as well. You see Tina's 15-foot radiance of the spiritual guardians going along. You spot the second bone dragon, turned by Tina Smoothhands, still flying away, hundreds of feet now to the south of you guys. Even when the spell runs off or the turning wears off, it's going to take him a while to get back. But you currently turn, you see, Divot in his D-Rex state. You see the bone dragon kind of hovering there, held up by magic as his wings don't even beat any longer. Him and Divot locked in some kind of like super intense stare-off. What do you do, Rial?
Well, I got Brunor's message loud and clear, and it's funny enough, you had checked behind the statue. I had seen the Urk, we had that weird little interaction. Does he have a name? Has the Urk been named yet? You wrote him, do you name him?
His name is going to be David.
David Urk.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, David the
His
Urk.
name is David.
The things you have to write down.
He does not go by Dave. He only goes by David.
Strictly David.
Yeah.
Don't fucking call me
Yeah.
Dave. My name isn't Dave.
It's David. Yeah.
Look on my Kobold birth records.
Strict David.
But I did a similar thing last time. I gave up all the gold, so I've seen the same effect that it has on the Kurtulmak statue. So I do want to help with the gold and just getting that on that fucking statue, because that's what supercharged him in the first place. Maybe if we disable the whole thing, I don't know. Sorry for turning on hard mode.
Yeah, Rial, you kind of, as you turn around, you're like, you start looking around at as your group's kind of, circling in as this surrounding army of dark figures starts kind of surrounding this ruin. You see the ones on the east side kind of start closing in as well, getting near to the tops. You notice the same lack of concern for their well-being amongst them as they kind of just like fall over on a rock. Their head will smash the ground. They don't even flinch. Kind of skid up. There's some tar still stuck on the stone. They peel themselves up and keep walking forward. These sharp, again, these kind of black tar-covered sharp blades. They're like natural weapons in their hands. You do notice them all kind of coming in. Now, at this point, you're all kind of, gathered around. Divot, you feel, again, since you're a T-Rex now, the strange feeling inside your mind, the power of telepathy that you're very common with in your normal life. As a T-Rex, you're not quite as used to. and you feel that bone dragon talking in your mind.
What now, Bone Man? A new form, a new shape. I will kill you in this age and the next.
Yes, Bryn?
Oh, it's good. I got a good idea, so keep going. I was like,
All right, y'all don't hate me. So based on where I am and where he is and the stare down that's going on, those were like fighting words. I haven't even noticed all these other things coming up out of the muck, and I want to lunge at and like mid-air grapple this thing.
Okay, do you want to grapple it? I just want to, like, are you trying to, like, actually grab it and hold on to it? Or are you just trying to, like, tango with it? Just because grapple is, like, a condition in D&D. So I don't know, like, I just want to make sure. Are you, like, trying to grapple it? Or are you just trying to fight it?
Yeah, I think I want to do it.
You want to grapple?
I think so.
All right, so it's opposing strength checks.
I said I wanted to eat apples with it.
All right. Here, I'll give you his first. He gets +4 to this. Oop, for some reason. Oh, it's because I have the turn order there. It was like, no, you can't use a D20. And I'm like, that's all I want to use. Oh!
Wow.
Crit!
Damn.
Dude, first crit hit of the night. For our new fans here, yes, we have a little rituals we do. We like to take hits here on 20s, and then now we do what's called the shit crit on 1s. So this is a happy crit with Brian the Crocodile crit. Hits all crits, baby.
Oh, got him. Oh no.
ooh,
That's a good one. That's
Ooh,
good
that
stuff.
means we're gonna have a real good time.
This shit's about to get crazy.
Shit's about to get.
Yeah, I got a little piece.
Yeah, weird shit.
All right, so what just happened?
All right, David. So it got a natural 20, so it got a 24. I think
Okay.
your strength is actually high enough that you would need a crit though.
No, I get +7 as the T-Rex.
Okay,
for this
crits
roll.
only count, just so you guys, I mean, they count for us. We smoke when the numbers are green or red. But in the game, the crits only apply to like attacks. So in this case, you are correct. Even a 20 only gives him a 24. You have what, +7?
Indeed.
So you need 17 to tie, 18 to win.
All right, let's see what happens.
Oh boy.
Oh!
No. That's not either of those.
All right. Divot.
Travel with him.
Yeah, you kind of like you lurch forward, attempting to grab him, and before, like, just as you go to strike to move, you just hear,
You'll have to do better than that, Bone Man.
and he just kind of like backs up just out of your reach as you kind of go to bite at him with your mouth. He flaps back his wings just once, still flying through magic, not the use of his actual wings. He's a wily fish. That is your attack action to attempt the grapple. Do me a favor, make me a dexterity saving throw, Divot, because you did try to grapple a flying creature over a hole. And so I just want to make sure you didn't maybe fall into that hole.
All right.
That rollover at the end, did you see that? The dice
Oh,
was
I
like
know.
2,
It was
2,
like
2, 2,
2 or an
18. I love that they do that. That's a detail. An artist did that. Like, thank you to the man who knows what those moments are like in real life. You're like, oh yeah, okay, sweet, David. Yeah, you managed to catch yourself. Again, you have these little tiny arms, so you like you start waving them to try to like catch yourself, and then finally you're like, wait, I'm this giant creature. You just lean forward and kind of catch yourself with your head, push yourself back, and let out a roar at this bone dragon. You got anything else, Divot?
No, I think I need to rethink.
All right, so at that point, you guys see this happening with Divot as he's trying to grapple this thing. You see him almost fall into the hole and catch himself. But we're back to kind of like the other 4 of you guys. What are you doing in this moment?
Can I summon? I want to summon Brian to land on Divot's back and do a breath of weapon on this fucking little bony dragon.
Yes. You kind of like look at Brian and give him the big boy, the signal, and you see kind of in a moment, he's been waiting, kind of watching you, waiting for you to call for him. And so like a puppy ready to go for a walk, he's just into battle mode right away. He jumps, his wings set back behind him, and Brian the Dracodile, your mount, floats down and rests on the shoulders of this D-Rex. Divot, you feel this animal kind of touch your head, and you would like throw him off, but your balance is too precarious right now, so you're just kind of like teetering on the edge of this hole. Go ahead, Brenna. Give me a Brian breath weapon.
Okay.
The Brian breath weapon, the BBW, give it to him.
16. You make an 11 Constitution saving throw.
All right. Boom, boom. DC 11?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I rolled a D10. I'm sorry. Boom. That is what kind of save? Constitution?
Yes.
Sorry, just double check it. I'm actually not familiar. He has a +3, so he had a 12. He did get a 12.
Damn it.
Sorry.
That's fine. Fire damage on a failed save are half as much damage on a successful one.
Yeah, that's big damage too. 2 6s on that. 16, so 8 fire damage. He might have vulnerability to that. Let me just double check. No,
he is made of tar.
No.
Who knows?
No, unfortunately, no. But you do see as like the green fire, if you'll recall, the green fire that Brian shoots as he kind of mounts the back of this D-Rex. It kind of boils it's like when you're smoking hash. You see like the fire kind of hits the top of it, and for a second like nothing's happening, and you're like, come on. And then finally it starts to bubble a little bit, and you're like, yeah, and then just a bunch of smoke starts smoking off the back of this resin bone dragon. You see he's kind of floating there in the air, and each time he beats his wings, you just see these little folding jets of smoke trail off in the distance. But yeah, his body's kind of like smoking now. You see this bone dragon finally, for the first time in quite a while, looks away from the gaze of Divot, and he looks into the eyes of Brian. And you see Brian like staring at him, and like his big wings cast back, and you see like again kind of the same semblance as if perhaps being challenged in this moment. You see him weighing his options. What else? What else are the rest of you guys doing right now?
Oh, I shoot that dragon. I shoot that dragon right in the fucking face.
Go ahead and give me an attack on this, Real. You hear behind you, as you pull out the daughter or the son of Birch, you hear the kind of clittering of stones behind your back as these creatures, at many in number and more on the way, start kind of surrounding this rim. You look up and you see these beady red eyes, but the main threat right now, this massive dragon over the face of your friend, you go ahead and fire off.
When you have that pet at like a friend's house, it's not your pet, but you just got that really good bond with it. It's me and Brian, just any danger. So it's like, as soon as I see kind of the bone dragon shift his gaze over, it's just like instant fucking fight or flight. And the only thing I can hear in that moment, just because there is like a blind protective fury, is just the bow going and then flip it.
Yeah, you hear nothing because of how dexterous Real is and how quickly and stealthily he moves, but you do hear the creak of the bow as he angrily knocks a bow back. The magical phased rider web that uses as the string, you see it glisten for a moment as he lets a bolt go. What AC did you get?
23.
Oh, that's a hit, baby.
For 12
nice.
Damage.
Nice.
You see the bolt, it sticks into the resin skin. Nope. I just want to double check that he doesn't have resistance. You see it kind of pierces one of the bones. Again, this thing doesn't really flinch much, but you can see as like the tar is kind of dripping off of its body and stuff that it is weakening. So it had effect. You just don't necessarily know how to quantify that effect. You haven't met many bone dragons.
It's my first. Don't like them much.
You see, it whips its wings one more time, and another little wave of smoke just flows off of it.
And me without a lantern.
Damn it. And are we dumping that gold? Bruno and I dumping the gold on the Kurtulmak statue as well?
Yeah.
While we're we're here.
Perfect. Yeah, you guys, you kind of start pulling the gold out to pour it on the plate. Tina and Thorkus, what about you guys in this kind of last little final round?
Final round of what?
The finishing of the round we're doing. Bruno and Rial and Divid all went. Like, what about you two?
Well, I do know a lot about dragons. Not experience-wise like Brunor, but I don't mean to be too crass, but we what are we looking at peen-wise?
I bet you wish you didn't use that inspiration point now.
Roll for pain.
So, it being a bone dragon, and although you would assume that like a boner, but yeah, no, like the phallus is not actually a bone. And so yeah, you look and where you were hoping to find some sweet magic dong that might infuse Brian the Dracula with even further power. You unfortunately, when you look at you stare directly at the crotch. And you give it a good one of those. You get in there, you give it a peepsy, and all you kind of see is some floating mass of tar where a real dragon's dong might be.
Well, this has been disappointing.
What's the penis bone called in animals? It's like the bacula. Is that?
Oh.
Don't-
Bacula?
Scott Bakula?
Oh yeah.
Scott Bakula has a bone in his penis?
You didn't know?
Bacula has a bone in his penis.
Bacula's penis.
Quantum penis?
Quantum penis.
It was to warm up. Scott Bakula has a bone in his penis.
Yeah, so I'm watching Thorkus try to check out the negative space of this dragon penis.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so that's happening. And then I also can see this insane dragon too, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so I'm gonna immediately try to close as much distance between me and that dragon as possible. And I see it. I don't like that it's here, and I've been feeling extra feisty. So I'm gonna cast banishment. Cast banishment on it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sick,
Yeah.
Tina, yes. So again, yeah, you notice, and again, just to kind of define that weird energy, that extra little vibe, that tickle that you're getting, you do know that Kurtulmak, although the god of kobolds, is a trickster god. And for those that haven't been with us forever, old Tina Smoothhand started off as a trickster cleric who casted off her former god. So the power, this trickster magic source nearby, it's kind of been a little fire under your skin in this moment. And again, you keep thinking about how you're kind of hyped up on how you feel. You look down, and you've got a hefty banish. What does your banish look like, Tina?
Yeah, so while I'm really leaning into this energy, there's something about this place. Like you said, Kurtulmak is really inspiring my whole vibe, but this time with this trickster energy, I feel like more connected to the goodness, and I feel still I'm radiating positivity and light. So my banishment is gonna look like, well, it's not gonna look like anything. It's gonna feel like a cool breeze on your cheek, rushing past everybody, and then suddenly very still there.
All right, he gets a saving throw. Let's see if it happens. Now, Tina, when you activate this power, your beacon of spiritual guardians is cast off. So the kind of holy glow in the plant life, like you said, it was all kind of covered in tar. You see it finally just like, and then dissolve into magic, as the spell goes away. And you summon a very righteous power to send a creature back to the plane from whence it came. You put your hand on it, and it makes a charisma saving throw. What's the DC for me?
Oh, let me check for you.
7 plus. And what kind of save was it? I'm so sorry. A charisma saving throw.
Yeah, a charisma saving throw.
It gets a 7, so I'm not gonna say that's probably not good enough for our high cleric here. So Tina, you run up and you see the smoke kind of billowing off of the back of this dragon, and you rush up, and in this moment, if you'll remember, like the dividing line between you and Divid, as you both kind of had this cosmic display with a dragon, those two universes collide. into one little bubble around you on one side, the Agent of Life, Divot, the Agent of Undeath on the other side, and this bone dragon between you. You see him, kind of reach out to grapple this creature, and even though he kind of stumbles and can't catch himself, the dragon kind of whisks backwards, and you slap your hand directly into the mass of this black, bubbling tar. You feel it kind of wrap around your hand for a moment, and then that cool breeze, almost like echoing through you like a canyon, washes over this creature, and it disappears. Now, Tina, you have to hold this for up to a minute. If you take any damage, you'll be making concentration saves. But if you can hold this for 1 minute, that bone dragon will go away. Just give me a religion check here, Tina. What kind of as you send this creature away, the place that you're sending it to, maybe you can pick up on some details.
Yeah. Pardon me. Okay.
Dope, yeah. So
totally
again, Tenna, just like the Earth before, whereas you notice that this life blight in this region seems to be like the halfway point between a normal sense of life and where the Shadowfell goes. When you banish the Shadow Dragon, you feel like it goes to two different places. You feel like the skeletal essence of the creature that once was this dragon just divides and goes to a place that you can't define. But the cold, dark energy of the tar that brought its body to life disappears to the plane of shadows, the Shadowfell. So you feel that kind of cold air that you felt when you stood in the accursed church, and you feel it on your fingertips, almost like your hand is there with him for a moment, and then you pull your hand back away, and you're back in the prime material plane. But you do know that like the shadowy essence of this corrupted spirit seems to be from the Shadowfell.
Yeah, and as I'm doing that, I recognize the duality of this creature, and it makes me question my own motives and wonder if my own intentions are true, but it's all gone in a whisper.
You're just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh, Lord. All right. I don't know if I think that's as much as I'm allowed to sing. I'm not sure.
Yeah, before we get
We just got shut down. This will be, if you're watching the rest of this, it's on YouTube because Twitch canceled our account. All right. Sweet.
Eric Braden's cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he'd be down. He's down. I'll be like, dude, I listen to you when I get high all the time. All right, Tenna. So yeah, you successfully banished the bone dragon. You all kind of witness, even Divot, kind of again more creature brained than Divot brained right now. You're like, you kind of look up like, what the? As this creature just disappears in a cool breeze, the glowing hand of Tenna Smoothhands just kind of standing there for a moment, and you see her withdraw and look at her hand. You hear the jingling of gold pieces behind you. You turn and you see Brunor and Rial pouring this pouch of 100 gold onto the offering plate at the base of the statue. You watch as the gold pieces dissolve away. You all kind of look up at the statue, and you see the one remaining blue eye disappear. The electric energy is gone. You hear the shifting, slow steps of all those strange tar-covered creatures around you stop. You look. Their red eyes still dot the horizon on every ridge around you where you stand, but they stand unmoving. The slow drip of tar falling off their body, the only sound that you hear is it splats on the old stone ruined floor. The statue starts shaking. Finally, the eyes reopen again. This time a very light, extremely fine, like the skyest of sky blue color. The eyes light up, and you think for a moment it looks like the statue starts breathing. What have you for Kurtulmak? Pay the price. Ask the question. The head turns and looks around at all of you, kind of awestruck, looking at it, and he peers down. You see the head of the statue kind of turn and shift, looking at you, Divot, this Tyrannosaurus Rex. No reason for trickery. And you see the statue of the arm does like a little pass in front of him. You see two little beams of light, and suddenly, Divot, you feel the opposite of that horrible feeling of your body being torn apart. And you feel your body withdrawing back together. But unlike the magic, which leaves you little broken before, you find it actually pieces you back together as you were. Like the opposite of your body snapping, a flood of relief as your body resumes its normal form. Divot, you regain the use of your ability.
Ooh.
You feel the touch of this aspect of Kurtulmak in this moment, this wave of trickery magic wash over you and basically uncast the spell of polymorph on you. You see him continue looking around at the other people there, but he says very little. What do you do?
Sorry. I embarrassingly reach into my pocket and down one of my potions. And I don't want anybody to notice. I'm just like, shit.
Well, you're like underneath Brian, because Brian was riding your shoulders.
It's on
so
top
now
of you.
so you have the cover. Yeah, Brian just kind of stayed on you.
Yeah, Divot. Good catch, Bruno. I'm sorry. You, as you come back down to your original
Slow.
size. Yeah, just like deflate like a balloon. Just like... And suddenly, Brian, you feel the heft of his giant 10-foot reptile body blocking you from sight, allowing you to get some sipsies on a healing potion. No shame in the game.
Cool.
2d4 plus 2, I believe, for the ones you have. I don't know if you guys have greater healing potions.
Alright, so 5 plus 2, 7.
Yeah, you get 7 sweet health back.
Sick.
What's David doing right now?
David, you see, is like kind of scared right now. He's not coming back out from the other side. You see him looking around, and as this kind of statue, again, it's not like shifting around and making grand gestures or anything, but you have now seen its arms move and its head tilt, and the stone appears to be breathing. The four-eared kobold god himself with little jangling bells, a necklace of balls of growing in size, as they kind of go down toward the middle, where it's one giant metal ball at the center of his necklace. Wearing these extravagant regal robes that, even though it's carved into stone, are still quite something to look at. But yes, you see.
Is there anything left in the bag?
Yeah, actually, to be fair, because there was a threshold, Brunor, as you were pouring, you noticed this reaction happened after about 30 gold. So, not to put too fine a point on it, but it appears that the offering for this particular statue is about 500 gold.
Awesome. Can I come around? I want to come around the front of it and take a little bit of gold and have it in my hand and go out. What's in the bottom of that hole?
You come into the den of Zulathax and do not know of its treasures?
You see, little bit trickling rocks kind of fall out of his mouth as the statue laughs.
You have earned your entrance here, but know you not what lies below?
No, I just killed the dragon to get here, that's all.
You do wear the skin of the master. Bold, I say, but impressive. What have you to ask of Kurtulmak? What brings you to this den?
The treasure. We want.
Yeah, it's probably.
If you could just go grab. Can you just go grab that for us?
Why does everything go blind?
A barrier for the place below. My magics keep it powerful. You separated my magic from it, and now it is weakened. It used to be worse. A madness set in the brain that would never go away. You have earned your entrance to the temple, heroes.
You see, he kind of looks around at you. He takes up his finger one more time, and rather than a straight line, he draws a small triangle. It still kind of remains floating there in the air, like an arcane rune. And you see the little rune in front of him kind of float down and plant itself in the purple and black magic. And Divot, you're kind of standing on the edge. You look behind yourself, and you watch as those purple and black cloud that kind of blocked the hole, it turns into spiral stairs. And you see, rather than this this imposing wall of magic, a welcoming set of spiral stairs. Now, Divot, you and you alone have seen something down there, but as you look down where the spiral staircase ends, still being illuminated by this strange candlelight from below, you see no signs of the shadowy creature or the stretch-faced Bodak.
Okay, well, I definitely want to ask him about that. Kurtulmak, Turtleneck, I saw something dark and terrible and kind of cool. What was it? Please, you must know.
You speak of the keeper of the den. Strange magics afflict this area. Look at my people.
And you see him kind of look up, and he's like looking around at all these strange red-eyed, and you see him kind of look disgusted. He's like,
be gone!
And you see him swipe his hand, and in one motion, all of them just turn into a puddle of tar. You see the beady red eyes all disappear. The only thing that's still present that you see is this, is the dragon, the second bone dragon, flying away. You kind of look over and you see Tina. Tina, you're able to hear all this. Concentration isn't like, you're just staring at this one thing. You can see all this happening, but most of your focus right now, you can kind of feel this creature like trying to tear back at you, trying to scratch its way back into the material plane, and you're just holding it at bay with this, ferocious magic gifted you by Shantia. And so you see this as well, but there's like some time left that you need to hold this this on for. But the other direct threats around you watch as they just dissolve into the blackness behind you guys.
So, where is this black ooze coming from? I want to ask the god that directly and see if he has any idea.
Your answer waits below. I made a deal. I wouldn't get involved. Kurtulmak is looked down upon by some of the other gods. They think they're so great. Well, I thought it would be fun. So we changed the rules a little bit. You should probably look. And you see the giant statue points below.
Hey, you know what though? That must have been really hard for you. I'm sorry that you were getting judged,
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Yes. They all think they're so powerful. I let my children serve their dragons. Their dragon gods think I should do the same. I think not! You see this kind of pulse of energy shoots off the statue. You all kind of feel it as it goes through you. You guys have been around some pretty powerful things, but like a god is this is not to say this is a god. This is one of his aspects in the material plane. Gods aren't really supposed to come into the material plane, but this is, a pretty powerful thing that you're conversing with right now. You feel the bolt of energy kind of push you back.
I'm gonna keep this fucking god, not god hype going. Like none of those other gods saved heroes. We appreciate what you've done for us. And as a fellow trickster, I'm like, and I like your style. And I want to pull a coin out from behind from both sides of the 4 ears. And they just like disappear. I'm like, sorry, I missed something.
Dope. Yeah, you use your invisible mage hand, Ledger Mane. You kind of like, and you pull out a coin from each of his 4 ears at the same time. You see he smiles, even the stone mouth. You see the statue smile with joy.
Sweet gold, tradable power. You grovel like a kobold. I appreciate that.
And you watch as the coins disappear. He sighs in satisfaction. He likes gold.
I see what Rial did, and I'm kind of picking up what he's putting down, and I have this connection still to my trickster past, and I know how money talks, and money can grease all wheels and maybe even make friendships. So I dig 50 gold out of my bag real quick and for your kindness.
Tina, you still have the spell in your hand. You walk up and you look at this smiling statue. Is it it's almost like a child if you give him a treat. Like he loves gold. And so you pull out your offering and you set it on the plate and you see him look down on it. And the gold pieces shimmer away into this faint mist of magic. And he looks up at you.
What secrets ask you from the secret broker, child?
Tina, you kind of remember. You're like, oh, Kurtulmak is called in some studies the secret broker. So people will come to him and have their memories removed in exchange for secrets. And so you're kind of like, the secret broker? Oh, and it's like you're not keen on dragon lore and myth, but you're like putting a couple of these like things together. As Tina, you feel in your hand, the energy fades away. The bone dragon is permanently banished.
Oh.
You kind of peek up at the sky. The one you turned is still flying away. So you still have, at least more than a minute until it would even be able to get back to you. But you check in on it, it continues flying off.
It feels like there was a great wind in my mind rattling and thrashing, and suddenly it's silent.
Again, even though not surrounded in the bounty of Chantier, you do feel that cool breeze and the river that flows through you. Even in such an evil place, the benevolence, your own ring of benevolence, feeding you with the warmth of sunlight, even in such a dark and dismal place.
She's got my back.
So, yes, you see Kurtulmak, he looks, he says,
I have a price, but I like you. One memory for 2 secrets.
And so, yes, again, I just want, Tina, I apologize for kind of using you to lore dump this into in the moment. But basically, this trickster god is like, loves secrets and memories. And so people will go and gift him memories. He's seen as somewhat of a benevolent, for some people that have to want to get terrible memories out of their mind. They'll come and offer them to Kurtulmak. And so he's offering you, because of kind of how you guys have all talked him up, he's offering to give you a deal and give you 2 secrets for the cost of 1 memory.
And is he extending this offer to everybody?
Basically, yes. Yeah. Everybody, this offer, he's like,
I offer this to you, warriors, before your adventure below. Perhaps some wisdom might aid you in your journey.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Let's learn about, so we got to go down there and fight something to get, because we came here to get some like armor or weapons or wealth or something so that we could get like better prepared for this war thing that's going to happen. And like there's a lot of shit going on. Melora, like good buddy of mine. We just met, but we were fast friends.
I know the mountain.
I was like, you guys would probably kick it. I think you could have a lot of fun together. Way good after we cleaned up that taint. Like, he's so much happier. Lost his head, though. Maybe you can help us out with that also. But yeah, main reason we came here was for, like, armor, weapons, I think, or some kind of treasure.
You see he responds to you. He's like,
yes, the treasure that you seek is below. Talk with Aramastis, the sage, the keeper of the den. I don't frequent the below places. I don't like the air in your realm.
You see he kind of breathes in. You see a couple of the stones like go back up into his nose.
It stinks here.
Sorry. I just didn't put on deodorant. I ran out, and the new stuff, the natural stuff, I got burned. So I didn't get to put on today. I'm very sorry.
Just blame David. Just blame David.
David! No,
David!
Who's still like
David.
freaking out. David's like scared.
No, David, come out. I want to like lure David out to have him like. Come on out. David.
Yeah.
David, man.
Kurtulmak.
Come on,
This is
David.
David. You know David.
David.
He's such a good boy.
Yeah.
And she's like,
Okay.
oh, I missed one. And he disappears.
David! Oh, that was David!
I thought maybe
Yes, it was.
Oh,
it's in order, but I guess Annihilation. That'll work.
David!
Is that not what you want? And he wipes his hand back and he pops back in.
David, oh my god.
Or yeah, and he snaps. He disappears again. Are you sure you want it? Ah, I'm sorry. You wanted him. You wanted him back. Snaps his fingers and he returns. You see, he's like.
Can we leave?
And he's just like, if he was scared before, he's petrified now. He's kind of like, you see his wings kind of wrap over him and he's just like, shaking.
Oh man, I think David shit my pants.
David.
We might need to give David some David time. He might need a minute to process.
yeah.
He just got warped out of existence, twice?
2 or 3
Well,
times.
maybe like he deserves a promotion. He was a really good boy. He helped us out. Like he's part of the reason why we're here right now, right?
Exactly.
If we wouldn't have found that bag of gold to.
Sure wouldn't have, so I kind of want to bring him out and I want to give him like pet.
Oh.
You see the statue's like, he looks at the way you guys are treating him and he's just like, And he looks down. You see, he like thinks about making him disappear again. He's like, I won't do it. He's kind of watching what you're doing and he's like, fine. And you see the hands kind of move and he paints out this little rune. And suddenly you kind of hear this shifting sound. You look over and the robe that had been coughed out of the hole, you know, the robe of the priest that had fallen below, you see it kind of pick up in the sky. The blood instantly is removed from it. You see it shrink down a little bit. 2 holes pop in the back. And it floats over and rests on the shoulders of David the Urk. And then you see the scepter just pop out of the hole. No more lightning. It floats up, kind of like in Mario Brothers. And then it lands in his little hand. And you see David looks up and he's like,
Yes, David. You can be my priest.
and you see he's like, and his little wings flap, and he's kind of got the little scepter in front of him, and he looks up at you, Brunor, and his eyes just well with happiness. And he kind of just nuzzles you a little bit, and then you see Kurtulmak's like, no nuzzling, and he's like, ah. Puts on
No,
an
you're on the job, man. You can't. No, come on.
Good for you, though, David.
Yeah, David.
his little wings again like a proud chicken. He
David.
kind of struts around a little bit in his new serpent robes.
David.
Starts dancing. All right, yeah. So yes, you've ascended David the Urk to the rank of priest of Kurtulmak. Urk. David.
I like to
Comment,
think.
David.
I like to think that I will leave places just a little bit better than when I came to them. You know.
Great. That's a great way to leave them.
Just a little bit better.
Maybe not churches.
Well, fuck churches.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe that one thing. All right, yeah. So you see before you there is the spiraling purple spiraling stairs that go down, like I said, about 50 feet. You see they just kind of wrap their way down into the candle illuminated darkness. Kurtulmak has offered you a trade if any of you were so to. Now again, this is a rather large price, the cost of a memory. But it does, like, you see he's interested, and you know Tina, you particularly, it's like you can't just be like, one time I stole Sally's lunch, you know what I mean? Like, this dude is looking for like life secrets. Like, he feeds, that's his trickster little kick. It's like he loves the secrets of mortals and gods alike.
Yeah, and I feel that trickster energy. But before I approach the Kurtulmak God again, I'm so overwhelmed with emotion, and I feel this religious and spiritual connection to David. And I'm just like, to see his coming of age just overruns me with emotion. I see the rope that rests on his little shoulders, and I'd like to, if I may, use mending to kind of like cross stitch or like embroider like the closest visage of this Kurtulmak God that I can, just so that he looks like really pimpin', you know?
I love it. Yeah, you give him dope shoulder pads with those little like these guys, whatever those are. I'm sure there's a word for them and I don't know it.
Yeah.
And they're all like, so you give him one of them, and yeah, rather than just like the cape, he now has this sweet like robe that folds back, and you just kind of like pimp him out a little bit. You kind of look at Kurtulmak to use as a guide, and you just make him pretty fierce in this moment. And you see as you're doing so, this creature has just like been mostly a slave probably his entire life, and has probably seen some pretty terrible things. And to have these creature kindnesses bestowed upon him, he doesn't even know how to respond. He's just kind of looking at himself like even he can't believe this moment that's happening right now. Again, it's not that they're dumb, but they're not intelligent creatures. You guys just don't speak their language, and so it's just kind of like it's like swelling with pride and doesn't really know what to do with it.
And I feel that like this sort of just like connection, and it's very contagious, and I feel as if I'm like grappling onto the power that I have and the influence that I have, and it's actually become part of my reality.
Yeah, that level 9, you're really starting to feel it in your veins, and your access to divine magic is making you more and more of a force in the world. Only perhaps some of the great priests of fame around the world may have a connection that rivals yours, but very rare is the type of power that you've now tapped into. Feeling that bounteous light of Shantia, especially so close to one of her glories, the natural wonder of the meadows of the. It attacked.
So I heard what the price is, right?
Yeah.
So Divot looks around and looks at the hole, sees the god, and kind of just like starts tearing up a little bit, and then walks over to him and whispers something very quietly, and then like stops crying.
You see Kurtulmak ponders for a moment.
What secrets do you seek, O child of death?
What,
I can offer you many secrets. Where would you like me to collect them?
I look around at the group and I'm like, I don't really understand.
Like where is like Shren? Like where is Shren Old Buck? Like what's like something he fears? Like maybe we could just kill that guy, or like I don't know. Like is the thing down there gonna kill us? That secret?
Yeah. Aid us in not dying sooner than our time.
You see, he scrolls his head back, and he looks forward.
The answer you seek, the secret you don't yet know. You are permitted, as by right, to the Horde of Harnax, which rests below. But there are tests that follow that could lead you to treasure beyond your comprehension. If you may peril those dangers, you will get to choose. Aramastus is fair, though twisted these days. You will meet him below. That secret is one of one what else ask you of me?
How'd you become a god? I don't want to fucking die.
All right, so you see his eyes roll back and he starts gathering through his secrets. His eyes look forward.
To tell the mortal of a conception of a god would be to destroy him forever. Such things are beyond your material brains, but you, Divot, there is a secret to your existence that you do not yet know. Your contract with death. It has an end date. Your physical form will only last for 1 year from the date of your transformation. And that
Is where we're gonna pick it up after intermission, guys. Boom.
My goodness.
Dead man walking. Shit.
All right, Divot, you're gonna have to tell me what your secret was. You don't have to tell them, but you do have to tell me.
Oh no, I can tell you what it is right now. I just wanted it to be mysterious in the moment.
No, give it to me when we come back. Give it to me when we come back.
Okay.
All right, dudes, we are going to do a brief little 10-minute intermission. Oh my gosh, check this baby out because there is some incredible new art. Vlad has been firing off some just seriously, guys, it is amazing. So check this stuff out. Some of the NPCs that we haven't seen yet finally have some nice physical form. Sandy's incredible music. Again, the guy who does all our original music for the show, Sandy Stein. All the music you hear created for this show by one brilliant man. We love him to death. Listen to his music at the proper volume, not behind my voice. During intermission, 10 minutes, we're going to do a quick battle royale. Remember, type hashtag WeeDnD chat to make yourself eligible for that $25 Amazon gift card. We will be doing that drawing near the end of the episode here. And so, yes, holy crap, dudes. This shit's going to be great. Trust me. I know what's down there and you don't know yet. That's what's fun. That's what's fun. I know what's up. You guys don't know what's up. So you're about to find out what's up. What's up?
What's up?
Gang, gang.
What up?
Hey, what's up?
Hey. What's up? Yeah, but what up?
What's up?
And what up, though?
What's up?
Welcome back, buds, to WeeDnD, the positive live tabletop role-playing experience. When last we left the Ferocious Five, they were standing around this strange statue of the Kobold God Kurtulmak, seemingly come to life through this bizarre ritual that they've been a part of. The hole into the earth no longer covered with a purple and black magical barrier, now a spiraling staircase of purple and black magic leads down below. The statue Kurtulmak himself has offered the adventurers a trade, one of their juicy memories, for 2 secrets. Now, Divot stepped up first and found himself out that the treasure of Harnax that they seek, the treasure of the dragon Harnax slain in Emerella, is theirs by right. And he spoke of greater treasures hidden far below, beyond the tests that he mentioned. So, Divot, you're kind of sitting there speaking with him in this moment as the last of his secrets that he gives you echoes in your mind for a moment. 1 year from the contract date. Now, you've been somewhat timeless in your time since you've embraced your undeath, eaten the acorn of death himself, and become truly a revenant. But this is the first time you've learned that your revenant body is on a basically 1 year of life left within it. What happens then? Only the scholars know. So you see Kurtulmak looking down at you, realizing, he also indulges in the moment of a secret being heard, the way that a person's face shifts when they learn something they hadn't known before. And you can feel almost as if he's sucking the energy of that moment from your skin as this memory of yours. Every bit of it is dug out from the deep crevices within yourself. Divot, what memory are you giving Kurtulmak?
I gave up all of the last good memories I had of Martha.
All right. Divot, as this feeling, this drawing of your energy and the delicious taste of the moment that this aspect of the strange kobold god seems to take pleasure in basking in, you feel as suddenly this instant void strikes through your brain. The last person to show you kindness beyond the group very much directly around you, the fine woman at the inn who shared her hearth with you many nights and fell after some pretty unfortunate circumstances at the hands of Urgon the Archmagus. And you feel as this kind of like tendril of these memories, the strange gaping void within you from your toes to your skeleton head with the red mask of death still emblazoned in your skin. You just feel as if this long string is pulled out of you and devoured by the statue of Kurtulmak. Divot, you have no memory of the woman Martha Goutshire at all. Good and bad memories. Her death, her existence. He has drawn the memory of Martha Goutshire from you entirely. As far as you're concerned, Divot, you guys actually managed to save the people you were chasing through the woods, Ubaru and the young elvish boy Aleo, the only 2 people drawn away by the shadows of Caius. You guys got to the temple and battled with Urgon the Archmagus. And that was it. No tragic ending, no tear-filled goodbye, no withering face of a smiling friend. That burden still rests on the shoulders of the rest of the 5. But unbeknownst to you, Divot no longer has that burden.
And it's like a relief, but I also feel something missing.
You see, Divot, the part of you that gets closer to the warlock magic and that gets ever farther away from your pure energy source of bardic energy when we first met, Divot. you find yourself, through this action, sliding a little. As if the colors of the world around you are a little bit more gray and bland. And even though you can now taste something in the back of your throat, you're pretty sure that it's your own mortality. You step back, you see Kurtulmak turns his face and looks at the faces of the others.
Have you a gift for me? Or your treasure do you seek?
I do.
Yes, step forward. You reek of secrets. You're a bit of a secret yourself, aren't you? Oh my.
Memory first or secrets first? How are we gonna do this?
Let's have your memory, Rial.
All right. To Kurtulmak, I offer the memory of my father giving me up. I didn't know it until later, thanks to Urgon. I thought I was going to go study in the cloister of the trees, but I was just being turned over for my father's gambling debt. So I'd hate to lose the fond memories of my father. He wasn't the best guy, but if I can just wipe that smudge from my brain off of him. So I don't know if I'm ever going to see him again or if it even matters, but why hold a grudge if it's just blanked out? I'm always going to feel the way about Urgon that I will. It's not going to change that, but just that thing he did, just giving me up, if I could hand that over.
You experienced a similar sensation that Divot did as the strange tendril of nothingness extends through your body. You feel a great energy, pull this string of emotion, this memory source. But just like Divot, some other memories get stuck in the tendrils along the way. You do remember your father, Rial. But you no longer have any memory of ever having a mother.
Oh no, I loved her. Oh no. Oh.
So
The thoughts and the head sketty, man. Damn it.
The old head sketty.
the old head sketty comes out, and again you see Kurtulmak kind of wrap his finger in the tendril of magic and just suck it off the tip. But yes, as similarly to Divot, beyond the extent, you don't realize how a memory is so wrapped within other sensations of your mind, and how pictures and how fragmented pieces of what happened in your life are so constantly changed that even in these moments, there is no such thing as a surgical cut of a memory. It is attached to so many other things. And as you focus on not losing your father, but rather this ugliness that you shared with him, you unfortunately don't have the presence of mind in front of a god to stop your mother from being victim. Your single father raised you. You know that he did everything that he could to stop you from your inevitable fate with Urgon. The memories are hazy like a child's memories often are. They are warm memories. However, you no longer have any memory of your mother.
Can I feel it being pulled away before it's gone? Do I have like one last little taste of it before it's
Yes, absolutely. What's your warmest memory of your mother, Rial?
She always sang me to sleep. These beautiful elven songs. These like perfect lullabies. Just lyrics just hitting all the right places. The melody is perfect and calming and fluid.
Okay.
So that gets pulled out, turned into a whisper, and she's gone. She was never there. It's gonna be real awkward if I run into my dad.
No, your mom. Like, your mom. What are you talking about? Your mother? She gave birth to you? Like, clearly she existed.
She got locked in the head sketty. Lost in the head sketty.
Head sketty. Rial, You watch as this creature, this god of unknown power, even an aspect, you could feel the raw strength of the energy of this trickster, malevolent spirit. You feel the pleasure sensation that he feels as he tastes such a delicious memory, something that was so true to your core. And you see as the eyes kind of roll back a little bit and he looks toward the sky. You see he starts moving his fingers. And you start hearing your mother sing. In fact, all of you start hearing. It kind of washes over the dreary landscape like a strange, piercing color in the sky. But for a moment, all of you feel the warmth of a mother's protection, of her care and her concern. And then in a moment, you all feel it ripped away. 4 of you know why. But Rial, you stand there looking around, somewhat jaded by a lack of protection in your younger years, a little bit more of a hardness to the back of your shoulders as you stand and look around, unaware of what you've lost, but having lost a valuable thing. You now receive your secrets from Kurtulmak.
Where would you have your secrets drawn, Lord Othravan?
I feel like I can never put a grasp on where I came from. But I do know that I am the goodness removed from synthesis.
Correct.
If the two halves become one, is there hope for vanquishing this evil that he's wrought upon the entire land?
You see his eyes roll back. You hear the sound of like 10,000 books as their pages are turned, as he goes through this timeless gathering of secrets. His eyes settle.
The fractionation ritual can be undone, but it would take great magic. Yes, the fractionation ritual, Fey in source. Seek you a sage of the Fey. He can teach you what you need.
His eyes come back.
What other secret would you have, Rial?
Aramastus. Before he became twisted, what was his favorite thing?
You see his eyes don't even have to file through any books. He just continues to stare at you.
Aromastus lived to serve Zulathax. Zulathax was everything to him. Like a good servant should be.
How do I spell that?
Zulithax.
Thank you. And thank you again for the kindness and protection you've shown us. One trickster to another. It's very much
Thank you.
appreciated.
Thank you.
And then I just kind of wander back in case anybody else is interested. I'm feeling a little gray. A little.
It's all right, buddy. I got this. You doing all right? You good? You doing all right? All right. Just want to make sure.
One time I turn it off. Hello?
No, it's cool. It's fine. That time it was all right.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, of course. So, Mr. Kurtulmak?
Kurtulmak. You will show respect, dwarven man, or I, you see his hand raise up, shall remove you.
I see you're raising your hand like you have a question. Let me answer that for you. Yes, I do have a bag of 15 platinum rune inscribed thingies here. You're not going to get any memories from me, though. You might get that bag. What's that worth to you? What? Let's talk real stuff here.
You see he takes his hand, that was up kind of like to cast the spell, and he tips it forward. And he like kind of, you see this, stone hand bend down to you. Now, again, like about a 15-foot tall statue, this big, the fingers kind of lean out. He's like, let me see the bag.
You're not going to pull any you-know-what-agains, right? Because I heard the next person to say that word gets pistol whipped, so I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, you in this moment, it's weird. You actually know for a fact that he cannot take this from you unless you give it to him. But you like feel it as this aura of magic from this kind of aspect of a god.
He's trickster. I'm like, hey,
no,
bro,
fair.
Papa's been around 199 years. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm not giving you any of my memories. I've enjoyed the ride, my friend, and I've got my ups and my downs, but it's been worth everything to get to where I am today, and that's worth more than you could ever give me. So I earned my shit. Here's 15 platinum with a bunch of elvish runes on it. Let's talk brass tacks. Like, what are you gonna give me for it? I'll give this to you. Here, I don't need to put them in your hand. Here, let me put them in my hand. Take a look at them. You can look. Till we have a deal, though, you're not gonna get them.
I have no recollection of having done a deal because I don't have the memory, and I'm just like, hell yeah, brother. Yeah, gotta remember it all.
Oh my god.
Keep him tight, man. Gotta keep him tight. So Thoricus, you see as his fingers kind of like hover, again, you feel this little weird cloud of magic kind of like wash over the coin, the pouch with the strange runes that are inscribed on them.
You bring me platinum from the Underdark. A welcome gift. But my secrets carry a price beyond that of coin. A secret, a memory, can be the most valuable thing in the universe. Keep your coins, or offer them to my pleasure.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not willing to give you any memories. Anyone else willing to give memories? I'll throw this pouch of silver or platinum elven rune shit that I know nothing about to help your memory secret trade-off thing happen better, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like add a little extra in the kitty.
Sure, like an inspiration thingy to your...
I would offer to give up a memory, but I can't think of any.
Right. Would this bag of platinum elvish ruins thing be able to let anyone renege on memories that they just lost?
Actually, yeah. If that's what I like that. If that's what you want to give me a persuasion. Is that what you're offering? You're like, you see the faces of your friends both shift drearily. You notice that like whatever they gave away seems to have taxed them more than maybe they considered. So if you're offering to this creature the opportunity to give them back, you'd have to make a persuasion check. He does like these a lot.
Well, can I like phone a friend like within the group real quick and be like, so what's more important, like putting a boon to either Tina or Brunor's memory swap secret thing, or to give you guys back what you don't even know that you lost?
They're like, what are you talking about?
Exactly, that's what I'm
Help
saying.
them. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I'm not going to give up any memories. I partied like a good amount of them away, like about like a few years ago. So
yeah, I paid my penance as well. I'm holding on to my memories.
As I say that, Brian struggles past me, and he kind of just does on the floor, and he goes in front of Kurtulmak, and he just stands there like, with like his eyes, like, you know, his look on his face with his little eyes and his open mouth, and he's just like, like he's happy to be here.
His mouth opens.
Yep. No, just crocodile sounds come out, but he's letting the demons inside of him.
He's purging his demons.
Yeah, he's purging his demons. He's seen some things. We've been together for so long, but he's lived a long time before me, probably. So.
All right, Brunor. Roll me a 1d100. Now, this number, don't do it yet, because this number is going to represent the tragedy of whatever memory he's giving. 1 being that time that he thought that he was going to bite the onion and it was an illusion, and 100 being like vicious Aquan war crimes.
Okay.
That I will describe in horrible detail. Most likely.
Brian.
That's how I'm so happy all the time. I purge this shit. Do run games. It helps.
Okay. So 1d100.
All right, roll for tragedy. 41.
All right.
Okay.
You know, not the worst. No.
Medium tragic.
Let me run this through my tragedy filter.
We all get hungry. We do things we don't mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, like eat a whole box of Cheez-Its.
Kill a guy.
Eat a guy.
Etc.
Who was holding Cheez-Its.
Yeah. That's actually exactly what it is. It's Brian. Every time that you guys leave a dead body and then don't like make sure Brian's with you, Brian has been eating all these dead bodies. You might be wondering like why the constables haven't tracked you down for all the murders that you guys have committed, because there's no body trail. Brian has eaten every single one of these, every child that died, every adult that died, the monsters that died. If you go back on those roads, there is naught but a spill of blood and perhaps a Dracodile turd. But you know what? Brian's sick of carrying that burden. Now that he's more intelligent, he realizes he's no longer just a monster, but an intelligent creature with a growing intellect. And he purges that to
What a good boy.
Kurtulmak, who you see spoon up that paschetti and taste the delicious thread. You see Brian, unlike the other two, not having a ton of memories to connect to, short of being a crocodile for most of his life. He seems to, the weight on his shoulders is lifted a little bit by this purging. And then you see Kurtulmak after he takes, devours the strand pulled from Brian. He looks down and you see he like starts glaring his teeth. Ooh. And then you see Brian goes. And his eyes get big and his mouth just goes. And he can't believe the secret that Kurtulmak just told him.
Brian, good for you. Wow.
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 Wow. Is he okay? Is he gonna recover from this?
I mean, yeah, but it's he seems to have been hit with a pretty big secret.
Can he communicate any of it to me, or is he still in shock?
Yeah, he's kind of bewildered by it. He's gonna need a little time, Brunor, but he looks at you like,
Oh yeah, it's fine. Take your time, buddy. Take your time. It's okay. It was probably a doozy, and I get it. I get it when a doozy gets dropped on you. I totally understand.
you see he's looking, and then he looks up and he looks around at all of you. The way you've seen him kind of look at you before was when he kind of basks in the power of you and him as part of this group. And he's looking at you all around the circle. And then finally he kind of hunches forth and he like points his little leathery Dracodile arm at Brunor. And then he makes a line on the ground. And then he points a little line of his little leg over at Tina, and he makes a line on the ground. And he does the same until there are 5 lines, and he has pointed at each of you. And then you see him start drawing 5 lines on the side. Another 5 lines. Another 5 lines. And there are lines that connect each of these groups of 5 lines. but none of those branches connect to your 5 lines. You see, he looks at you, Brunor, and he circles the group of all the groups of 5 with his little foot. And he looks at you again, and then he circles your circle, like the circle of your 5 lines, and then he crosses it out. And he just keeps saying no. Like he's back when all you could say was yes and no to each other, he keeps making the word no and like pointing at you.
Okay. All right. So you're kind of saying that there's a bunch of others like us? Okay. There's been a bunch of others like us before in previous whatever.
And then you see he goes,
No.
and he starts turning his head no. And then he starts circling the big group of all the 5 again. And then he pokes them, and then he looks at all of you and says no.
Are we the rejects? Is that what we are? Just like a reject version of each of us? Or are we just a bunch of...
So Brunor's branches were like X'd out and like
No,
brushed off?
all of yours, the lines that he made for you 5 are all together. He then drew a bunch of series of 5 lines with links to them. None of them linked to you. He then circled them and crossed them out, and then pointed at you and said no.
Yeah, we just built different, baby.
Well, we can continue to kind of talk about this and like discuss this and figure this out, but I think unless there's anything else, is there a second secret? Or is that kind of a twofer?
A twofer.
41 enough for a twofer?
Yeah, no, it kind of is a twofer, actually. It does have multiple parts.
That's okay. But we can continue to kind of figure that out and make our way down the stairs.
Yeah,
What do
I'm
you guys
so
think?
off of this bag of platinum. I'm like, do you have a Dracodile like an app that we can use so we can speak Dracodilese? Like a babble or...
He doesn't have a language yet, so Brian is becoming intelligent to a degree that like a crocodile is not. It used to be that Brunor could talk to Brian because she could talk with aquatic creatures that had a swim speed. That's kind of like the way that works. Now she can communicate with Brian because Brian is intelligent enough to understand what she's saying to him. He doesn't speak English, like words. He doesn't speak common or anything, but that's the best he can get across to you, the thing that was just dropped into his brain. But no, he doesn't have a language. That's why Divot can't talk with his mind. He doesn't have a language.
Gotcha. All right, well, Kurtulmak, sir, I apologize if I came off as being rude before. Here's your 15 runed elven platinums, just for your good graces. I hope that we're good, maybe watch out for us while we're down there. Maybe throw us a freebie. Just be kind. We're all looking out for each other, so.
So you see he looks down at you, Thoricus, and he's like, and he kind of moves his fingers, and the 15 platinum kind of float up in the air in front of you. And then you see them take a shape, all right? So I'm actually going to draw this shape.
Hey, yeah.
Oh, this is going to be a fucking square.
Money's on square.
Square.
Oh, boy.
I hope it's a square.
If it's not a square, I'm going to lose my fucking...
Oh,
Yeah!
biggest square yet.
Whoa.
Square game is right on, brother.
You see as the coins just dissolve into this big green, just the best square you've ever seen. And you see there's like a pulsing light, Thoricus, in the top left corner of this square. Although you may not know yet what that means, he has indeed given you something in exchange for your offering.
Thanks, Cup. Appreciate that. We'll figure it out. I'm not worried about it.
Trickster gods, right?
Yeah. Hey,
Freaking
you
gods in
show me the
general.
little thing over there. I'll remember where that it is.
He's like in the top. Remember, it's in,
Yeah.
it's in the top.
the top.
Right. I got you.
All right, good.
All right.
You see, he looks around and he's like, David! And you see David's like, whoosh, and turns and looks at him. And he's like, and you see this little book just fall at his feet. And he goes, here are my teachings. You have a lot of reading to do. And you see David like, like just struts over, grabs the book and looks at you guys. Then he's like, then he starts like just reading this book.
Dope. Then
Nice.
yeah, I give Brian a little pet on the top of the head, and then I head over to the stairs and I give a whole looky peepsy blue down into the hole.
All right, so yes, Brunor, you kind of go up there's the stone steps on 3 of the 4 sides of this hole, and you just kind of walk up. You see the purple, black, and wisping magic of this this hole in the earth beneath you. And it kind of leads down. You see there's a big circle area of candles, that circle the perimeter underneath. And again, you see the ground looks like this, what may have been at one time an ancient splendorous ruin, kind of fallen into disarray. You as you kind of look, you see the faint glow of what appears to be like kind of of an altar, to the east side of the room underneath you. You also see this strange black tendril, just kind of like a vein, just withering on the ground. That is what you see.
Dope. Cool. All right. Shall we head over?
Yes,
All the
into
way
the
down.
lovely pit of death.
All right.
All right, what's your marching order here?
I will go first, and Brian can be behind me.
All right, Brunor, you start kind of walking down into this, this magical purple and black staircase. At first a little hesitant.
I don't want to be like dumb about it though. Sorry, like. I want to like.
Let's make that clear.
Yeah, I want to be like real gingerly about it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like, I'm aware this is a spooky hole.
Yeah. You just kind of
Okay.
tap your foot on the stair first to make sure. You're like, all right, is this magic just like a jerk? Am I going to go blind? And you're like, no, I'm good. And then, and you see Kurtulmak, the statue, kind of looks down at you all. And then you see him take one last smell. And for a moment, he seems pleased. And then that kind of like last bubble of the tar and the smell of the material plane and sweat and humidity and just life. You see him just kind of repulsed suddenly. Return if you wish to trade for more secrets. Good luck with Aeromastis. And you see the statue turn back into stone. All right, so Brunor, as you kind of start walking down this purple spirally staircase of magic, as you get past basically the 10-foot stone circular area where the well is, you finally get down to the point where the room underneath you kind of opens up. And the first thing that strikes you, there is this massive 55-foot long skeleton head. You can only imagine like the largest of giants that you've even ever heard of could have a head this size. You see this rotting skeleton head. It stands and basically is the entire like northeast corner of this massive room. As you kind of look around, shield out in front of you at the ready, looking around for signs of danger. You look around this chamber, it's very extremely dark, except for this illuminated candle area. The warm yellow light washes on this tainted bone of this massive skeleton in the corner. You see rivers of that strange black tar just oozing out of his eyes, his nose, and mouth. And that river of black tar and sludge seems to be coming out of its mouth. You watch, as where you're kind of looking down, you see to the south the river flowing so hard that it continues down, where you see just probably, maybe about 80 feet away to your south, this massive black beating heart. You see as these veiny tendrils spread all around the crumbled ruins of this once great den of, as they've said, the dragon Zulithax. But yet you see, again, almost matching in sheer size, the massive skull that rests in the northeast. You see to your south,
just this 40-foot tall sludge, this black, tarry mess of a heart. And as you descend into the chamber, Brunor, you notice that near the altar that stands to the east, on which 2 candles are rested before this dark, like skin flayed bound book, you see this whirling wisp of shadow. Formless, just an orb. And as you kind of like descend down the spiral steps, not too keen to take your eyes off it, ready for it to snap at any moment, you see the same face that Divot was privy to. The stretching skin and sharp cheekbones of the withered-faced Bodak, sunken black eyes that seem to continue on forever, a void of despair and sorrow in its eyes. Its long mouth hangs as if pulled on a rack below, hanging about 1.5 feet wide open. You see the face materialize out of the shadow. Welcome. What? Who? Where? And you see the shadow wisp away.
Hello, my name is Prince Brunor, the serpent.
You see it materialize in the southwest of the room. The face comes out of the shadow. Yes, Prince Brunor. I. Who am I? And you see he wisps away again.
Are
Erase your
you
head.
Aeromastus?
Aeromastus! You see he withers in, flying all the way up to almost the base of this staircase, where now you're maybe 10 feet up. Yes, I was Aeromastus, guardian of the Master. The Master. The Master. And he wisps away again.
I want to say
Zulithax?
Zulithax! Ah! And you see shadowy whispers from many directions will materialize in one point, floating in the midst of the spiral staircase, a face facing at each one of you in your various positions on the stairs. You see the stretchy-faced Bodak. You feel that withering, feel the pit of despair in your stomach, as if there's this barrier of death magic just being held behind his eyes. You see he looks at all of you. Zulithax, the Master, Arnax, the boy, the child. Oh, and you see, the screen painting, his face kind of contorts. And the shadowy wisps wither away once again.
I want to put a hand on Tina's shoulder, subtly. And I want to ask her, as quietly as possible, can you pretend to be Zulithax with your thaumaturgy?
Oh.
And how big was Harnax?
Huge.
Yeah, Harnax he was bigger than large, so yeah, he was huge. He was 15 by 15.
15
Just
by
for the
15.
D&D of it all.
And
I want to tuck in the part of my costume. Sorry, the part of my costume that's made of dragon.
Yeah.
Just so that it's underneath.
That's what he was smelling too. I'm sorry if I didn't make that clear enough. He smelled your guys' dragon skin armor and was like, "Oh, Harnax, the boy," and then kind of whisked away.
Do you not recognize the boy?
You see, you hear, this time he doesn't actually appear to you, but you hear him whisper from the shadows, "Are you here to claim your right, or seek you the greater treasures within?"
Both. I think both. Brian, you might not want to breathe on this guy. Sounds like you had a real close connection with Harnax.
Brian just kind of nods. Ooh.
You see, the wispy shadow kind of whirls around each of you. Again, as the closer this thing gets to you, there's this feeling like you're about to fall into a pit of nothing. There's that feeling you get in your stomach right when your chair falls back. It's like as he gets close to you, you start having that. Even you, Divot, without your more physical features that a lot of that would come from. Even you around this creature, this dude, there's some deep dark magic up in this dude. And you see he wisps around all of you, his twisted, contorted face popping out for a moment, and then you see the shadows reform at the altar. You see these long, twisted hands with sharp fingernails turn a page on this dusty tome. You see earth shatter off as if a page hasn't been turned on this book for a millennia.
You're right. You have earned by slaying the young master. Shall now be bestowed upon you.
And he opens his hand, and you see the giant skeleton mouth behind him opens up, and this river of black sludge starts pouring out and filling the watery spaces to your north and south. You see almost spilling up and putting out some of the candles. You see some of the tar actually goes over them, but these strange candles seem to burn forever. As it washes away, you see like a wave of this dark energy hit on the rocks.
Here.
And you see this chest float along the wave and lands to his right. You see a wisp of shadow carries it and sets it down before you.
Arnax was a boy. He didn't have much. But here is his treasure.
And the case of this gilded treasure chest opens, and you see there just a crap ton of coin. For the D&D of it all, the numbers, I don't want to deal with the raw, and then I count it, and there's this. You get, if you guys want to write down group loot and distribute this later, you can. But you are rewarded with 600 copper.
All right.
Ooh.
10,000 silver pieces.
There we go.
Wow.
Wow.
2,200 gold pieces.
Oh, nice.
And 140 platinum. And, because who don't like a roll on the magic item chart? Somebody roll me 1d100.
It's feeling hot, baby.
Can I give somebody a bardic inspiration for that roll too?
No, magic items have to exist outside of that. Only because like +6 on the magic item table can be like game changing sometimes. So yeah, that one is a little outside.
Yeah, I feel really. This is a long
lucky.
time coming, and I'm really excited. I'll do it.
All right.
Yay!
Giger.
Oh wait, no, I think I rolled. Yeah, I did. Okay, yeah, 29.
All right. 29.
Yeah.
This actually might be really cool. I'm sorry, this is always, I like, people are like, don't do random treasure chests. I like it because it's like, you guys, they didn't like craft these for you. And then it's like, and trust me, there's nothing better than when you're like, oh, that thing that I forgot about that we had, and we'll use it and it'll help. This one actually feels a little more on the nose. Oh, bro. Real. My man, you lay your eyes upon something, and you're even though I wouldn't make you make a history check just because I want to see if you fail.
Aww.
I
Oh no.
Because it's
We were
like,
just having a good time.
You should have taken the class, guys.
Real stabbed the guy in Mr. Hand's history class.
This is payback for weekend at burning that wizard.
Oh.
We knew he'd come back. Yes.
There we go.
all right,
Is it a 50th episode miracle?
it took 50 episodes.
Oh,
We
wow.
got it, guys.
We passed the history check. No, I'll give this to you. You know these pretty quickly. These are actually pretty famous in elven lore. And Rial, the last you knew, these were gifted to an elvish prince who went missing not too far from the Malachite Mountains, now that you start thinking about the details that you remember from poring over the many tomes of the Cloister of Trees before your long imprisonment. And so, yes, you see laying before you bracers of archery.
Oh.
Nice.
They're beautiful in design. They're made out of like feathered gold leafing, and they slide on almost more like a decoration than like a defense bracer. But you have heard that as elvish princes would wear these, that their bow strikes would land even stronger. And again, the D&D of it all, Rial, you get +2 damage to ranged attacks made with bows.
Whoa.
The longbow and the short bow.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Tina, you rolled. It's funny. Sometimes you're like, I didn't roll really high, but sometimes it's like if you had rolled really high, there might have been something that wouldn't have been immediately useful to you guys. So, yes, Aramastus has offered you what he says you have earned by right, the treasure of the dragon Harnax. He has told you that there are greater treasures to be found within, were you to attempt these tests.
You mean do something crazy?
Yo.
Something crazy.
Yeah, the bard in me is like, hey, you said that this is what we won by right, but what can we win by might, right?
Whoa.
Right. All right. So, sorry, I have my books placed in a weird place today. I don't like it.
He's got a lot of books. I'm nervous.
Yeah.
There's a lot of books here. All right. So, yeah, you see Aramastus is still kind of withering there in front of you. Are you pleased with the hoard of the young Lord Harnax? He was a good boy until the Druids came. And you feel a great sorrow kind of wash over you.
Do you know anything about those druids?
Yeah. What's up with those druids?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck them druids.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Yeah, fuck those druids.
All right, you
get
see,
scared.
as you say the Druids, his face withdraws into his shadowy form. And he's floating there for a moment. And then you watch as the orb kind of starts stretching and filling the room. And you start seeing small little figures move around inside. And as he stretches and grows in size, you see that you're like witnessing a memory. It stretches to the very boundaries of the cave that you're standing in right now. And you see, rather than the twisted, shadowy form of Aramastus, there stands an elite elven noble, wearing these fine intrinsic robes, turning the same pages of the same book that you see Aramastus lurking over now in your current time. Behind him, no giant white skull, no river of black toxin, but just the smooth, green, jetting, poisonous waters that you would expect in a den of a green dragon. Clouds of noxious gas that the denizens that live nearby, these young dragons that lay all around these chambers that seem to just be basking in their own wealth and power. You see they breathe in the great noxious gas. They snack upon little plates of food nearby. You see small kobold minions attending to their every need. And then suddenly you see a beam of sunlight pierce in from the area above, similarly to where you now stand in the current time. And you watch as 12 shadowy figures spiral their way into the room. You see the faces of all the dragons snap and alert. They suddenly jump to defensive positions, and you see one shadowy figure step out that you have seen before. The great druid Achaeus. You see him step forward from the shadows as if the memories of your own and the memories of this being are painting the scene in front of you in real time. You see he steps forward, his eyes still glowing with that magic energy that you saw when he froze the sun in the sky and cast the silver rain upon the shattered isles. He moves forward like the leader. The other 11 shapes swarm around behind him, almost like ring race, just these weird shadowy memories that float behind him. You see these black tendrils start spreading out into the rooms. The dragons spray their fire. The tendrils burn for a moment, but continue to persist. They snatch the dragons and drain their life away. You see the memory ripped away from the form of Aramastus, and you watch it float to the southwest. Aramastus's face starts coming out of the shadow, and for a moment it resembles the elven noble that stood at the book. You see the skull behind him as his face twists and contorts to the drawn-mouthed Bodak before you. The Druids are to blame for everything.
Druids. Ooh. When you see he turns the page of the book, and it looks like it hurts him to do so.
We wish to stop the Druids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, we don't really know much about anything. We've just been swinging it.
He wisps from behind the altar to in front of all of you. You all feel that feeling in your stomach again as he gets close. You're able to suppress it for a moment. Would you kill the Druids? The five faces stretch out and stare at each of you. Would you kill the Druids?
I would.
Yeah, fuck it. Of course. I
If
think.
you need us to.
I mean, wait. Don't you hate dragons?
Help Melora?
This guy isn't a dragon. And no, I got over that. I was being very racist, and then my boy Brian got changed, and so I adapted and I learned, because that's what you do when you love somebody.
It's beautiful. I
It's
love that.
beautiful. It's
Oh,
actually,
yeah.
it's a beautiful thing
Thank
to say.
you.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what's wrong with that heart? Why is it
Yeah.
all
What's that heart all about? It's a
So
giant-
now that you know that as the memory kind of washes away, you see those same black tendrils, even including the one kind of withering on the ground near your feet. It is those same black tendrils that source into the giant beating black tar heart. The Druids, they stole the Malevolite, the stone that the Master Zulithax used to dominate these lands. And then you see the memory kind of fragmenting itself to your south. You see the dark heart bask in this shadowy cloud of memory, and it's gone. And you watch as the 11 figures circle around as Achaeus, you see him walking forward, glowing eyes of magic, steps forward, and with his hand, you watch him open a portal. And you've seen these portals before. It is a portal to the Feywild. You see the swirling magic, not too much dissimilar from the one that you had jumped in to get back to the prime material plane only days ago. And suddenly you watch as this beautiful woman's hand comes out of the shadow. And it's so gorgeous, so striking in beauty. Even just the fingertips of this creature make you have to shield your eyes for a moment as to not be blinded by its beauty. You see this perfect porcelain hand come out and then snap its fingers. And you all hear the of the first sludge of this heartbeat that starts off small. And as the memory fades away in front of you, you watch it keep growing in size until the memory washes away, again wisping to the south. And the heart, now with tendrils stretched all across the many chambers of this large corridor that you stand in, now spread everywhere. You see some of them leaching the black tar from the river itself. The skeleton face frozen, as black trickles of this magic darkness wash down its ancient face.
Yeah, I see that now, like, the Druids are working possibly with Queen Mab, so, you know, Brunor takes a second after she sees this, and she goes, oh yeah, I'd kill a Druid.
You see Aramastus turns and looks at you, and then he... That is not the hand of the Shadow Queen.
Whoa! Okay,
And you see he again turns a very painful page. Then he grabs the book, and as if almost like Divot when he turns into his Tyrannosaurus Rex form, it's as if it's like ripping at his own skin to show you. That is the hand of Queen Titania. Finally, the book drops. You see the shadowy form of the Bodak, retches over the book as if it taxed him greatly to show you that. But yes, if this vision and these memories are to be believed, it is in fact not Queen Mab who is teaming up with the Druids to bring this strange black magic to the earth, but in fact the Queen of the Summer Court, Sir Curie's queen, Titania.
I'm all like fucked up now.
Oh.
I
Well,
don't know what to do, y'all.
listen, I appreciate you communicating that to me. You can tell Bruno is just like struggling with that information. And thank you for that seemed very painful. So thank you for doing that to yourself so that you could show us the book. Cool. What about these trials?
Yeah.
You see, he looks. Each trial more difficult. First, the test of body, then the test of mind, and finally, at the chamber of Lord Zulathax himself, the test of heart. These ancient ruins shall guide you, as was the will of Zulathax before he turned. I bid you, stop your quest before you open the chambers of my master. His form now, too dreadful to lay eyes upon. And you feel that immense well of sorrow once more splash over you, and he utters the words, "For my master is now a Dracolich." No history check required. A Dracolich, an undead skeleton of tremendous magical power. The type of monster you would tell your children about to scare them before a summer sleepover. Yeah. So indeed, the ancient dragon, Zulathax, lord of the bloodline of Harnax. His treasure waits below, whether or not you wish to seek that low. Now he seems, again, I'm sorry if it's not clear enough, but you will, after each of these tests, have the option to stop. But he is saying that if you bear the risk of the bottom floor, then, and this is also as your dungeon master, there will be a Dracolich down there. How deep you guys decide to go will be up to next week, because that's actually where I think we're gonna call it, guys. Holy crap! I want you to think. That's, you know what? This is actually fucked up. Because see, I want you to think about it. I want you all week to be like, well, I mean, maybe we'll just do maybe we'll do one, and just, I mean, that'll be good. But look, I'm just saying, I have now told you. Look, Aramastus, a Bodak just told you that there is a Dracolich at the very bottom of this little thing you got to deal with. So, just think on it amongst yourselves, discuss. Buds, holy crap, that was a fucking sick ass episode. I'm sorry, not a ton of dice, but man, that was some fucking that was just fun to play with you guys. I fucking love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging with us, guys. We do, fuck, holy shit. We will be back. We're here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Pacific. Please keep an eye if you don't follow our various socials. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. There's a kick-ass group page for a group called the Weed&d Hub. Over 1,000 members in there, the hottest, dankest memes. Follow those. Come join the Discord. The Discord's where it's at. Because yeah, we're gonna be guesting on some shows here, and as those dates all solidify, that's probably gonna be the best way to find them out. Definitely give us a follow here on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a subscribe. It doesn't even cost you anything. It costs you nothing. All right, dudes, we got us a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't, but we like to take a lighter, like this little one right here. Make sure we're not gonna light any of our friends, family, or household pets that hopefully we still remember, and go. Lighters up. Thanks for playing some fucking roleplay heavy D&D with us, guys. Damn.
Damn, didn't you gonna give up Martha?
Oh,
What I hate about that.
Oh, yes. Ha! So what? You can't touch me, 'cause I'm from the